Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to an early evening edition of the Missing Links post-game live stream podcast. We are going to attempt to set the record for biggest whiplash in a fan base in the history of sports, because 10-game winning streak vibes are high. Lose to the Sparks vibes are incredibly low. And now back-to-back wins against pretty darn good playoff teams, where in one game Fee and Liv dominate, and in the next game K-Mac just goes nuclear. That's the aim of this post-game live stream podcast thing. But I'm Andrew Dukowitz from SI and Zone Coverage. Derek Long from SideLine Vibes, and also known as Crunch on Timberwolves Twitter and Lynx Twitter now. How's it going, man?
It's going great. It's kind of funny too. It's like you're thinking of that Sparks game and kind of a little blemish with the guests that you have had on, the array of guests, the quality of guests, and then you go and get me on the tail end of this awesome weekend here. But I'm happy to be here and honored to be here.
Hey man, you're an OG. You have a spot on this post game live stream, whatever it is, until the internet explodes and we're not doing it anymore. As Amanda says, she doesn't recall the loss that we speak of. I mean, we can just start saying they've won 12 out of their last 13. Yeah. And that's probably never talk about the Sparks one again. But Lynx win 103-90. It was a pretty dominant win. I mean, the Wings made a couple little runs, but it never really felt like it was in question, especially in the second half. It felt like the Lynx were just, anytime the Wings would do anything, someone would hit a shot, mainly Kayla McBride. I guess, Derek, you were at the Sparks game. Just how different of a vibe has it been from that Sparks game to Aces and Wings?
Yeah, a complete 180 vibe shift. Just like a little quick background story. My wife is one of the best gift givers of all time, and so she surprised me with courtside tickets to the Lynx game for the Sparks, and I was obviously super excited. I love sitting that close. I'm only going to do it one other time. And so I love it from like, I'm a basketball coach and I love like watching the ins and outs, and I really get into the games and stuff. And so I remember really far back, like Courtney being like, the Lynx fans I think they were kind of too nice. I can't remember after what game it was, but she kind of mentioned that like we could be a little bit more like talk trash and stuff. So I was like, okay, I'll try that a little bit. Not too bad, not too much, just kind of like, subtle little jabs here and there. And I feel like I brought that vibe. I made the Sparks have a better vibe in that game than they were, but yeah, that you could watch the energy from the bench, from the players coming off the court. Cheryl at one point calls a timeout mid possession and looks at everybody and goes, "What are we effing doing?" Like just straight, like I could hear it across the court. Like it was great. But yeah, the vibe in that game, complete 180, completely different team from what we saw against the Sparks.
And then again, Aces game happens. Impressive win. Like I watched back most of it this morning, just kind of on 2X, and like there's some defensive stuff that's a little weird. Cheryl mentioned it in the first quarter. Dorka it was not tough Dorka. I know we're not going to talk about Dorka very much this podcast, because it's been a very anti-Dorka podcast lately, which like I actually do like Dorka.
I like Dorka.
I don't want to be known as like the Dorka hit podcast, but and today just, I mean, Mac is flying around everywhere. As somebody mentioned it, she's guarding Paige most of the game. The only time they didn't put her on Paige was the very few times that like Segrist was in there and Maya Caldwell was in there at the same time. They were like, all right, Court, you can take a blow. But she plays 35 minutes last night versus the Aces, 32 minutes tonight. I don't know how she does it. I mean, it's truly remarkable that she's able to play this well and put her body through this at 34 years old. It's wild. As someone that's 35, I sneeze sometimes and my back goes out. Like I can't even imagine.
I've had this like knee problem the last like week, and I haven't done anything physically active for that long. So I don't know if I tweaked it getting out of bed, but yeah. Fee was on the NBC post game thing that they do with like where they interview a player, and she said that Kayla told her that she was running on Advil and vibes, and so that's whatever. If you're having a down day, just Advil and change your vibes a little bit, I guess. But I think like watching Kayla this year, like again, this would be, I think, I know I don't want to do like the NBA comparison thing, but like sometimes it's easy. It's like it's just an easy way to do it. Imagine
Mhm.
like Steph Curry, but also Jaden McDaniels on the same side.
Yeah.
Like the amount of work that Jaden McDaniels has to do if you're a Timberwolves fan watching them, but like, you know, Steph Curry, like if you're a shooter, like a kid who's growing up watching basketball, the two people you need to be watching are Steph Curry and Kayla McBride. Like
Yeah.
their footwork, how they move off the ball. And a very underrated part of her game is her ability to like cut and like
Mhm.
these. You saw like in the third quarter, like Paige tried to like front her and get in front of her and make it so she can't get the ball and just instantly backdoor cut. She's super like good with like kind of doing like one of those little like Michael Jordan, I'm gonna throw you to the side, but not really like make it look like a foul. And so
Mhm.
like she's so good at that. So it makes it pretty much impossible for you to guard her and take anything away. So and tonight was awesome. She was just unconscious and that stuff's contagious.
It is. And Max, one of the players on this team that she has such a high Q rating in that locker room. Everyone adores her. Every player that's been here for the last 3 years that I've covered like speaks nothing but the best about her. And someone mentioned it earlier in the chat. She did this with 143 on 21 shots with one free throw. Britt Robinson, as we were getting ready to talk media, goes, if she went 21 for 21 on layups, it would have been a less efficient night than what she did tonight. Like that's
insane.
It's insane what this is an all-time performance.
Yeah. Yeah. It like, and it goes under, I know we talked about the effort that she put in. It's insane after a back-to-back, like pretty much 24 hours ago against one of the best teams in the league, where you had to do the same exact thing pretty much that the night before. Maybe not the shooting performance that she had tonight, obviously, but like that amount of effort and energy, her coming off of those screens on both ends, because you're guarding the best player on the other end and they're going to be setting a bunch of screens. So you're just like bumping in the screens the entire game. And the fact that she played the amount of minutes she played and how efficient she was and how effective she was on both ends of the floor, like I feel like it was super hard game for Paige to get going. And that was pretty much all her, like just fighting through it. And Advil and vibes, I guess. So I don't know. The huge Advil plug for her on NBC.
Honestly.
So
She's a big red light person. I'm assuming she wears like the big blue compression boots that you see people wearing in hospitals. Like K-Mac, I just assume goes home and just gets like a red light lamp on her, takes a bunch of medication, and then sleeps in compression boots. And I mean, even Paige, 10 of 15, 23 points. She did have 6 turnovers, which that's a little uncharacteristic for her, but like there's not a lot of people that are playing Paige that well on one end. For I want to say Mac was on Paige almost every second Paige was out there. Chuck mentions in the chat here, it was 3 games in 4 days. It was the night 8 p.m. game against the Sparks, noon game against the Wings, 2:30 game, or noon game against the Aces, 2:30 game against the Wings. That's I marvel over what she's able to do physically.
And the fever on, I believe, was it like Monday or Tuesday, or was I
Sunday? Sunday was the fever.
Jeez, yeah. So like that, I mean, that's kind of what happened with the Sparks game. I feel like that was kind of a trap game, but yeah, like that's a lot of miles and a lot of no pun intended, but like a lot of wear and tear. And she will love this break that's coming up here at the end of the month.
And she said she's going to Hawaii. She can't get there fast enough. Beer Gut mentions in the chat she's like a soccer player just running a marathon every game. I mean, she is.
It's yeah.
You mentioned like if you're a shooter, you should watch Kayla McBride. If you're not gifted dribbling the basketball or making reads, watch K-Mac all game. Like the off-ball stuff, running through screens, running off of pin downs, like the footwork that she has, where she's just, as long as she's squared up, she's like getting a good shot off. She's just technically incredible.
She's one of the best I've ever seen.
Incredible. Her technical skills are incredible.
Oh yeah. Yeah. She's one of the best I've ever seen, like off ball moving. And like, again, like it'd be, I hate to use this comparison, but it'd be like Klay Thompson if he was like a even better cutter and was like a lockdown defender on the other side. So like that's like almost like the perfect comparison if you're trying to like bridge between those two leagues and stuff. But again, I don't want to do that all the time. But like it's just like things you see, like a historical. You don't see this all the time, and like this is one of the
No.
best shooting performances I've ever seen.
And the like selflessness of it too. Of
Yeah.
earlier on in the season, Mac talked about it quite a bit, of just the gravity that she's drawing and how, you know, teams are shifting to just completely take her out of the game, and she was just fine with it. She's like, okay, I'll just stand on the wing and drag them out of the paint, and Liv and Tosh will do this pick and roll thing over and over and over again. Seems like teams have kind of figured out the Liv and Tosh pick and roll thing. Fee comes back, and now I think you're seeing teams. I mean, Seattle, Fee's first game, just single coverage Fee, and they got cooked, like 24 points in 22 minutes. Every team since then has kind of said, all right, well, we're not going to single coverage Fee. Dallas, I mean, they were putting Odyssey on Mac quite a bit tonight, and that just not a good decision, which I don't know what would have been better. They ended up moving Paige onto her, and Paige, I think, gave it her best shot, but Paige also got cooked. Like Arike, you can't put on her. I don't know what the option is if you're choosing to pick your poison, and we're not going to let Liv get going on this pick and roll that we saw all the time earlier in the year, to the point where Tosh is like, yeah, they're bad defense. It's fun playing against them. You're not going to let Fee get going. I think they made a pretty conscious effort to not let that happen in the first half, and then just Mac explodes. I ask a lot of guests this, and I'm curious of your take of, as a coach, like when a team is this loaded on the offensive side, like what do you do? Do you just kind of hope?
Yeah, it honestly is a lot of that. I think it comes down to, again, what you kind of want to give up at the end of the day. Like against a team like this, you have five people that could score in different ways. It's what can you live with? And so right now it's really tough because Olivia is just like making step back threes. So if you're like, hey, we're gonna go under screens, she's just gonna shoot it over the top. Okay, we're gonna help off of Kayla. Okay, well, that's just 3 points and going the other way. Okay, we're gonna double team the ball screen, like the ball handler off the screen. Like that's just a wide open Natasha Howard layup. And like, or Fee layup. Like there's nothing you can really do. It's more about just like pick your poison and hope they have an off night. So it's kind of like what the Sparks, I mean, the Sparks kind of did. They didn't do anything different that like other teams do. They just played with like a really good like energy and effort. I'm sorry, I brought up the Sparks again, but I'm trying to forget that game. But like, it's a good
one loss in the last 12.
It's hard. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, and then like, I bring it up to say like there's really nothing that they did that was like special, that was like the other teams haven't tried doing. It's just like they played really well, and we played one of our like worst offensive defensive games of the year. And so it's just like kind of how it goes. It's like watching never mind. I'm not going to do another NBA comp.
You can keep doing NBA comps.
I know, but
like it's hard for me to not do NBA comps because the offense in the WNBA is not the offense that was in the WNBA 10 years ago. So you can't say like this Lynx team is playing the same way as the 2017. Like the 2017 Lynx team had like 15 less plays per game because the pace was just not the same. Way brought it up before the Sparks game that they had a 30-second shot clock when she started playing in the league. Like there isn't a lot of, I think you can look at stats of like teams that were this dominant and have comps. But for me, it's this team's just Spurs-esque. It's Tony Parker. It's just driving to the lane. Tim Duncan is on the block. You have Boris Diaw and Manu Ginobili and all of these just really Danny Green, really gifted shooters all surrounding them. And there just isn't an answer, because I guarantee you, K-Mac shot 21 times. She hasn't done that at all this season. And the next game, K-Mac might have 7 shots and no one's going to be upset, which is just, again, it's insane how well this offense is constructed. Yeah,
it's like, it feels right now, honestly, like a UConn, like one of those UConn championship teams that they've like that, like it just, everyone has their role and their job, and like they play super hard. They play super cohesive. And yeah, like the Spurs, like the UConn, like those, that's what it feels like. And we haven't really had like a WNBA team like that for a while. I would say like the Maya Moore Lynx, that was like the last I've felt like that, where like all 5 people on the floor were so like they were like a combined brain. And that's kind of like my only way I can really like describe it. And so it's like, again, like what do you do against this? You just hope that your best players play really well. Like I'm just thinking of like the Aces. They go like they look at this game that they just played against them, because I would say that that could be a potential championship matchup. Like they have the people that can try to guard. It's just about like kind of trying different things and seeing what kind of works. And I don't know. This is a dream team for Cheryl, but to say the least, like it's like if you started a season on like 2K and you got to fantasy draft your team, like that's basically what Cheryl did at the beginning of the year. And it's just like,
she's brought it up quite a few times that every player that's here chose to be here except for Liv and Ola. Like they got drafted. But I don't know. People have brought up Court. Like Court had a bad offensive game, 1 of 8, but 7 assists, no turnovers, and her defense was awesome. Like Courtney Williams, when she is like, I'm not going to say trying, because I don't think she ever like doesn't bring effort. I think Courtney just has some like aloof moments on defense where she might just not be rotating crisp enough or something. But when she's on, I mean, she was on Arike for a good portion of this game. Arike shot 4 times. That's wild. Odyssey got going against Liv, and then they switched Court onto Odyssey, and Court shut her down. It is just, again, the bench wasn't particularly productive. They had 8 points combined. It's one of those things where it's like, with the Lynx, you almost have to shut out the bench. You can't let anyone on the bench get going. You have to shut down one starter completely, and then somebody has to just have a really bad game for you to have a chance, which that's kind of what happened against the Sparks. And the Lynx, it still felt like the Lynx were going to just eventually stop BSing around and pull out that Sparks game. Like even in the 4th quarter when they're down by like 6, I was like, yeah, they probably pull this one out pretty handily still. And if this is the ceiling of K-Mac this year, where if teams are not hyper focusing on her off ball, I don't know what, like if you're right now, if you're looking at playoff seeding stuff, like I don't know how the Mystics guard the Lynx. Like they have size, but I don't know how they deal with like the off ball stuff. The Fever have no chance. Like guard the Lynx, it's going to be just 120 points every game. Dallas obviously doesn't have any chance unless AZ comes back, and that makes a marketable difference. But like, I don't know how much AZ would have affected a game like this, where sure, maybe K-Mac gets pulled out of it because AZ's in there, but then somebody else is honestly probably stepping up. Liv was on a heater today too. Fee 7 of 10 for 17. Like you start going through playoff teams, and it's I don't know who could even stand a chance. Maybe the Dream, because they have so many perimeter defenders, but yeah, I need the playoffs to start just so I can start getting answers to questions.
Yeah. I think I was trying to, a little shameless plug here. I've been writing like a little Substack articles and stuff, and like breaking down like X's and O's and whatnot. And one thing I like kind of noticed when I was like going through all the games, I was like, man, we kind of seems like we struggle against teams that like have a lot of size. And so I went through and I was like, okay, what are the 5 like biggest WNBA teams? And like record, like our offense efficiency, defense efficiency, all that stuff. And it didn't really like show up what was like the record was fine. It was like 7-3 at that point, like compared to like whatever our record was. So it kind I don't know. The offense efficiency was fine. Defense efficiency was fine. The only thing that was different was like the pace. And I think like what happens when you play like some of these physical teams, like in these bigger teams, is that the rebounding part, and they might not like out rebound us by a lot, but they get a lot. They slow us down because they're able to get to the paint, and like the shots go up. They might get a second chance, and they might not get it. Where I think that's kind of like the only Achilles heel that this team has right now. But I feel like that is because we have a lot of like tired legs. Like Fee came back and that just kind of changed my whole thought process there. Cause I've been doing the same thing you just said, like trying to figure out, okay, like what our team's going to try to do against them when it gets to the playoff time. And I think that kind of, I think that's their best bet is just to try, because we don't have a ton of size. And so that's why Courtney is super valuable. Like again, her scoring, she's like a microwave. Like if she's going, and it's like it's game over for a team that's playing them. But like if she still brings so much energy, she's a great rebounder and like she pushes the floor. Like she works her butt off on defense. So it's like I don't know. You kind of live with like her having like heat checks and stuff because she does all those other things that help us win. So I don't know.
The shot she hit today too. One of eight. That was a loud one.
It was,
the shot she hit was a dagger. Like, I've been thinking about it quite a bit about the offensive stuff because I people who listen to the show know I think the Lynx's defense, you can figure out ways to attack it and score points on this team. Even Dallas, 44 points in the paint on 22 of 35 shooting. Like that's not good. Cheryl was in a good mood despite that, but
good.
That's not great.
I need Cheryl to come and like yell at me for like things I'm like not doing at home. Like I need her to like just come in and be like, hey, you got to figure it out. Like I feel like she would just get me in the right direction.
Man,
so
dishes. You got to start doing them.
Dishes,
what are we doing?
Yeah. You're right. Right after dinner.
With a chart about your inefficiencies and chores, and then it's like, well, I guess I got to do better now. But when I'm looking at teams, how do you stop this offense? The only thing I keep circling back to is a team that has enough guards and wings that can switch 1 through 5 pretty much the entire game. And then have like the depth to just continue running out guards and wings. I know a lot of people, Susan brings up bigs, Amanda brings up bigs. A lot of people are bringing up bigs. I don't know. Like if you're New York, I think you get played off the floor if this team's firing on offense because Stewie's going to be guarding Mac. Like Stewie can't run through 35 screens a game and be effective for an entire playoff series. That's just unrealistic. And if you're not putting Stewie on Mac, then it's like JJ, Phoebich, Sabrina's on Mac, one of them. But then you also have Liv and Court who can just explode on the outside or Fee. I just think the Lynx's gamble with their offense is that if a team comes out with size, they're just going to blow them out of the water, or they might drop the first game, but the second or third game in a series, when fatigue starts coming in, that they're just going to be able to outrun these teams, which proof of concept, they're the best team in the WNBA and they've kind of annihilated some of these bigger teams. Again, the Aces, I think maybe have the best shot at that with, Chelsea Gray is a competent defender. Like they have a lot of wings. They don't have to play Nalissa Smith. They could go Asia at the 5 and do a switching thing. I don't really think any other teams have that ability. Again, Atlanta, I think you could play, Angel at the 5 and switch everything down. But I mean, we just saw Nia Coffey and Nafisa Collier shut out Aja Wilson. I'm starting to just think that the big problem isn't going to be an issue for them. Where do you sit on the big issue though? The big issue.
I don't like, again, like you can go look at, I wish I had the stats like in front of me, but like if you go look at my thing, like I made a chart and the stats show that there's not a difference in like the big teams. It's like statistically. But like when you're watching the games, it just feels like it's slower. So it really doesn't make a huge impact. Now Fee's back, like again, I don't think it's that big of an issue. I think to kind of like pivot from the offensive side and like defensive, and I just go off of like what Cheryl is thinking and why she's been harping on this defensive thing, because she knows that like offensively, if offense is fine, it's going to be fine. Yeah. The players keep saying, well, our offense is good. It's like, yeah, of course. Yeah, it's going to be good. Like you should be good. Like
5 all-stars.
You're good in a championship if you lock in on defense and do what we're asking you to do. And I think what is happening, because because I like can kind of like as a coach, like you see that like what's happening is sometimes the players go a little bit rogue when they're
Mhm.
playing defense because they want to make plays on defense, steals, tips, and stuff. And to do that, you kind of have to get out of position. And the way that Cheryl has changed her defense and like the pack kind of like in the gaps, hard in the gaps, she that you can't really do that if you like go and leave. Like Olivia does it all the time, like, and she'll figure it out obviously, but like she goes and leaves, and now there's a long pass to her uh person she's guarding, like, and then now it's a super long closeout, and now it's like, okay, you might have stopped that, but now that person driving is now in the paint, and now somebody else has to help, and it creates like this domino effect where I think that's where it really grinds Cheryl's gears. Is like she's like, if you just lock it on defense, we're gonna just blow out every team. But it's a little bit of like the tired legs and this team. I mean, they had a lot of injuries. Like the depth, just like like there's a lot of minutes. You talked about that for a while. Like Howard was playing so many minutes because they, but now with Fee and even Dorka getting some time, and like I just think that the defensive side of the ball is what's going to make or break whether this team wins or not. To be a coach, that's such a coach answer.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong though, and I like that you brought up Liv, because Liv is obviously going to be your offensive rookie of the year. She's going to be an all WNBA guard. I would, unless things go catastrophically wrong, I would lock that in that she's all NBA first team with probably Paige, I would assume, but like her defense is tough. Like she is out of position so much.
A lot.
And
a
I spent
lot.
some time going through my Twitter feed and just listening to the clips back of Cheryl talking about defense, particularly when she was on about like guard, like kind of guard contained defense, and talking about how, Tosh needs help by the guards. And just watching some clips of Liv, it's like, yeah, she just kind of does the Olay stuff where she closes out late, she lets them blow by, big picks up, low man scoots over, somebody rotates to the corner, and then Liv is just like in this weird space where it almost looks like she doesn't know what to do at the end of the play. And it's a young player thing. I think a lot of it is just she'll get better at it, but I think the other side of it is she's talked about this a couple times of how sometimes she'll, like, K-Mac will hit a crazy shot or something will happen on offense, and then she almost like emotionally checks out of the game and it's just like starstruck. I also wonder how much of it is that where she's just kind of like listing on defense, like, this is crazy that I'm here.
I think a part of that too is like she sees somebody make a play and she's such like a what's the word, like she just loves, like she talked about Mitchell like being able to guard her and play against her, and like she just loves the game so much, so like she sees somebody else make a play, so she's like, it's my turn, I gotta make a play. It's kind of like Ant, like a little bit like Ant does stuff that's similar. So again, oh my gosh, keep you doing NBA comps, but like they have the same like mindset where it's like, it's my time to make a play, I'm gonna go make a play, so I'm just gonna go leave in, because she's really good at like getting these like little steals where she like kind of like just leaves her assignment and goes and just makes a play,
which again has to drive Cheryl nuts.
It drives her nuts because she ends up making a lot of plays, and that's what causes like the transition offense, like one of the best transition on offense and turnover to offensive teams, because she's a large part of that and goes and makes plays. Courtney does a very similar thing too, where she's flying around, not as much as Olivia, but like
but Court, it's almost like, and I'm going to throw us over to a break here quick, but Court is almost like, I feel like her brain goes like, we need a momentum swing, so I am going to leave my matchup and I'm just going to strip the ball from Asia. Like, I think she had this strip from Asia yesterday where she just is out on the wing, closes in on Asia, rips the ball away, and it's like a huge momentum swing. Like Courtney, for the most part, though, is pretty, like, she is pretty locked into, this is where I'm supposed to be, this is the rotation. Mac is like the teacher's pet of that, where it's like Mac is never, same with Nia is never out of position. Liv, it's just it's a little spacey, which, I mean, I gotta be fair, you know what I mean? If I'm gonna sit here and like knock Caitlin Clark for being subbed out in the fourth quarter's offense defense, I also gotta be irritated with Liv's turnovers and defensive stuff. But like, that's the hope would be, as the playoffs get closer, that stuff starts to diminish because the importance of games starts going up and up and up. But I'm going to throw us over to a break before I get your thoughts on that. Well, hello. Thank you, live stream Andrew. This is Ad Read Andrew. And today we have Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, the presenting sponsor for the Missing Links podcast. Firehawk Construction and Remodeling strives to inspire people to follow their ideas, working with respect and understanding to create a quality, tailored result. Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, located in Blaine and serving in the North Metro area, is here to help you with your building and remodeling needs. I can say personally, thanks to Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, I have a beautiful deck in my backyard and countless projects that I started, they finished. Get started on your new deck or remodel today by calling Isaac at 763-710-5686. And we're back with another ad read, this time for Pence Homes, the presenting sponsor of Hitting the Hardwood Network. From the best tools and technology to transparency throughout the entire process, Nate Pence and the Pence Homes team is the top choice for buyers, sellers, and is proud to support you and your home ownership goals. Get started today by calling 612-308-1122 or by emailing info@pencehomes.com. Have you ever coached a kid, Derek, that could throw laces? Like, K-Mac brought it up post-game. Tosh has brought it up. Nia's brought it up with me. Like, multiple players on this team have brought up of just, like, they'll tell Liv how they want the laces on a basketball when they catch it. And Liv is just able to, whether it's from spinning it or whether it's from positioning it before she passes it, able to get laces the way, like, K-Mac likes catching the ball like a normal basketball with laces, like vertical. I've covered some players that like them off to the angle a little bit because they like the feel of it better. I've never played with somebody that could do that. And I am just fascinated that that's a talent that people have, where they have the wherewithal to not only make the perfect pass, but also set it up so the laces are facing the right way for them. Have you ever encountered that in your life?
No, I have not. I that is another level. That's like a different level of like they talk about all the time. Like there's levels to it, and that's a whole nother. Like they'll have to have the wherewithal of being able to throw passes like that and get your teammates in the literal best position to score is just on another level. And that's something, I mean, I feel like there are people who like trying to think of like what's probably the best thing for Olivia in the future here is that this partnership with Lindsay Whalen, like her coming in. I was like so fixated on like, watching the game so close, like the other night, like as a Sparks, and Cheryl's hilarious. Like when anything happens, like she just turns around and like yells directly at Rebecca and Lindsay, probably nothing to do with them, but like she just yells whatever she's mad about at them directly. And as like an assistant coach that happened. Yeah.
Every once in a while, like Rebecca or Way will be out of their seat and Cheryl will just yell at Courtney. And Court's just like, all right. Yeah.
And like as an assistant coach, I completely understand it. So it's like hilarious that like that happens still like with her too. Like you see, anyways, Olivia comes out all the time. Courtney comes out all the time too. And they always sit down right next to Lindsay for the most part. And that like Olivia tonight, third quarter, she was pretty squirrely. I always call it squirrely. They're getting kind of squirrely, where she's like kind of throwing these crazy passes, like taking kind of, she had an air ball at one point, like tried to do like a step back and like transition instead of just like kind of being under control. She comes back in. That's when we go on this like huge run. And I think like a large part of it is like having people on the bench who like Rebecca, Janelle, even like the new addition, like Lindsay coming back, like that can just like, they understand what it takes to win a championship and be like, hey, we got to get under control here. Like you're like, that shot's going to be there. Like just kind of bring it in. Like you got to be looking for this and transition. Like all that kind of stuff is like super valuable, and I think is what's going to help when the playoffs come around. But like again, the game's like too easy for Olivia right now, so I think
I
she just
brought it
gets a
up.
little.
I brought it up yesterday. There's just one play where she's dribbling the ball up the court with her left hand, and she just, for like the hell of it, just like palms it and puts this like ridiculous spin on it where it goes like 4 feet out in front of her, hits, and then bounces straight back up and back into her hand. And it's like, I played point guard growing up. Like, I played basketball for like 8 years being a point guard. I could not do that on command. Like, I there is no chance. And she's just in like a 6-point game against the Aces in the third quarter doing that. And it's just, I do think there is some of it where it's just, there's a little bit of boredom out there.
I think so. I think
insane.
Lindsay might have been the person who taught her the laces thing. Like if you think like I think that's the only person that comes to my mind. Like when I think of somebody who is so like detailed with that kind of
Yeah.
stuff and so good at just like how can I set my teammates up the best way possible, all the way down to like how hard you're throwing the ball and like the laces being lined up. This is insane. I couldn't even picture that, but yeah, that's wild.
Which as a shooter, I mean, Max said it after the game. And again, I have Tosh talking about it in a clip on Twitter. Nia's talked about it. Even like Maya's brought it up, how like helpful it is. Like if you have a point guard that can, well dribbling the basketball, configure it so when they're passing it to you that the laces are just how you like it the second you pass it and you don't have to like shift the ball or anything. It's, as Caleb said, it's just kid in a candy store. Like it's perfect. I can't even, like, the fact that she's able to dribble a basketball in a pick and roll, distinguish the pick and roll, make the right read, and then like one-handed rifle a pass cross court to where the laces are how a player wants it is, she's a rookie.
Yeah,
Like
we're so blessed. Truly, this is
like, as someone that just loves basketball, this stuff is incredible for me because it's just, this is the sicko stuff that I love.
Mhm.
But she is a rookie that's doing this 6 years from now. Like, she's going to be whipping passes off the backboard that have the laces going the right way.
I can't wait to see that. Yeah, it's her, even just her growth this year. It's just phenomenal. I can't believe we're so lucky that.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Just Lynx Minnesota basketball fans like are just the fact that this is going to be the foreseeable future where Liv has the 3-year rookie contract, then she's still under rights as a restricted. And then after that 3-year contract, she's still under rights as a like whatever the WNBA version of bird rights are. Like, Liv's not realistically going to be able to leave here for like 7 seasons.
Nor should
That's
she.
just the next iteration of this Lynx team. I really enjoy this one, and I'm very hopeful that they win a championship this year. I feel like most things are pointing that way. But like 4 years from now, theoretically, you still have Fee and Liv, and everyone else on the team is just new iterations of Cheryl, like reclamation projects. It's, I don't see how this team drops off, like, as long as Liv and Cheryl are coexisting. They've just found another dynasty. Which that's kind of how the original dynasty started, right? They just got Maya Moore and then they're off to the races. This iteration, they just got Olivia Miles and they're off to the races.
It's some, like, a lot of it has to do with like you just land the perfect person. Like, it's lucky that we got her, but also like if you think about how the trade happened in the first place and how it was kind of like if you're Chicago, it was Chicago, right? Sorry.
Yeah, Chicago traded up 1 spot to get Angel Reese, and we ended up getting Olivia Miles.
And they don't even have Angel on their roster anymore. Like, that is
2 dream first rounders.
That's
terrible.
That might be one of like the most hard to watch trades playing out in the history of any sports. Like when this is all said and done, if this is the trajectory that's going. Like you have a rookie player who is an MVP caliber player on a already really good team, like, and you don't even have the player that you traded for. It hurts. That hurts a lot. So I'm sorry if anyone in here is a Chicago Sky. Can't imagine you will want to tune in for a Lynx post
Yeah,
game.
I would be avoiding. If I'm Cheryl, I'm just calling Chicago once a week for the rest of my career, just to see how they're doing, just check in. Hey,
they should get a ring.
I know
honestly.
Alyssa Peely didn't work out, but this Olivia Miles thing is pretty fun. I don't know.
Yeah.
Kingabee adds, I'm not on Threads, so I don't know what's going on
what
Threads.
Is Threads?
But
I've been seeing Threads.
Facebook, Instagram's version of Twitter.
Oh my! I am officially a boomer if I can't.
Yeah, I don't. I can't get another social media. I'm bad enough trying to keep Twitter and Twitter and Instagram and TikTok going. Jude mentions Maya Moore was also a trade swap. This is the whole like history just repeats itself type of things.
Oh,
if
you're remember that,
if you're getting a call from Cheryl Reeve and involves a first round pick, maybe just hang up. But King has mentioned Fee's going to Dallas next year. Chuck says the Fever fans also think Fee is going to Indiana. I don't know, man. If it is truly about winning, and that is all that Fee has said, Fee is never, I mean, she's a honest to a fault type of person. And this entire time she has said it's about winning. I don't know how you look at the best team in the league without you and think that there's a better situation out there that you could be additive to. I think if she ends up signing somewhere else, there's going to have to be a now they tell us type of piece by I certainly won't be able to write it because I don't have any inside information on this and I'm here every day. No. So I just think at this point, if you're Nafisa Collier, it's like I'm going to be wide open all the time.
This is great. This is honestly probably the easiest basketball she's played in her entire life. Like, and I would say like she probably doesn't even feel like she's at her like absolute best right now, but
probably not.
She probably feels like healthy enough to obviously play, but like I bet she's still trying to kind of gear up and getting the rust off too. Like you kind of see it a little bit in the games, but like it's easy now because it's like you have all this around you. But like I've wanted to talk to you about this. It's been a while, and I've like
real quick. I just want to, and then please by all means ask the question. Chuck real quick asks if I'm ready to revise my prediction of the final 16 games where I argued they could go 8-8. Yeah, I was wrong. That real wrong. Real wrong. I would almost expect that they're going to go like 13-3 at this point and just roll. But yeah, I thought for sure real tough opponents. Lynx looking tired. Nope, doesn't matter. They're just gonna rip off wins anyways. But Derek, ask your question. Yes.
Okay. So at the beginning of the year, when the fee stuff was kind of going on, and you're doing your job, you were doing your job completely, and it's like you didn't do anything wrong in this, but like you're kind of like the vibe is not good, and you're a good reader of vibes, and I agree with you. The vibe didn't seem good. I think a lot of it though is like our Minnesota hearts being like, we can't trust anything to go well.
Yep.
This seems like things are going too good. We can't trust it, and so like. As I'm a huge vibes person, but I'm also a huge like optimist, if that makes sense. Like I am a big like we'll cross that bridge when we get there kind of person. And I sometimes feel like if we talk about it too much, then we like everyone's doing their job, everyone's doing what they're supposed to. You're asking the questions, you're asking great questions. But like if we talk about it too much, like in comments and social media, it might manifest itself to actually to happen in the like at what cost? You'd be like, oh, I guess I was right that Fee wanted to leave. It's like I would rather just be like, she's never leaving. There's no way. Fee, if you're watching this, you're not leaving. I'm sorry. Like I won't let you leave the state. So like that's kind of where it was just kind of funny to see like how that's all transpired, and like it feels way different than it did at the beginning of the year. I agree that it was hard then to be like, oh yeah, she's for sure for signing an extension because I just feel like she's trying to, like you said, playing the field kind of thing, where you're like, I want to get all the ways. How can I negotiate this so I can set myself up for a good future? It's a businesswoman.
And
Like
I think looking in hindsight, like Mac mentioned it today, both on the telecast and on the podium, of just they didn't know what this season was going to be. So I do think Cheryl is very honest when she has free agent like discussions or talks to her core. And I think, again, like if let's say she plays a normal WNBA career and she plays until she's 35, right? That's 6 years. She's not won a championship yet. I mean, are you really going to sit through 3 years with the Lynx as they rebuild this thing again and risk another 3 years of not having a championship, when, like, whether it's fair or not, how sports is championships. But if you don't win a championship, that is held against you for the rest of your career. And I think Fee's looking at it of the entire team bolted. Natasha Howard was solid in Indiana. Like, she was a big part of that team's playoff push, but she wasn't great. Nia Caldwell was on the verge of not being in the WNBA, or Nia Coffey was on the verge of not being in that W. Like, her role had decreased each of the last 4 years in Atlanta. They hadn't traded for Maya Caldwell yet. So you just have like all of these random European players that, we don't really know what or who they are. And you have a rookie that hasn't played a game yet. I honestly don't fault Fee for saying, I'll give you this year. Let's see what it looks like. And then we'll reevaluate. I think a lot has changed.
Probably,
then,
yeah.
Where someone joked in the chat that, like, Fever fans will tell you that we turned Fee into a role player. Like, I mean, she's 7 of 10, 17 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals. That's like nirvana. If you're a post player, like, you just easy buckets,
she's in every
way
action.
up, you're winning.
Yeah.
I now feel pretty strongly that Fee is likely to resign and come back. Like, I feel strongly that, again, the only thing that Fee has told us is that it's about winning. I take her for her word. I think she resigns. Again, take the jet trips, take the private jets, get your steak dinners, like, do the whole thing. Fee could make the whole winter of just going to different cities and trying out their best steak dinners on whoever the owner's dime is. Like, I'm all for that. I also think, like, if you're a star player, keep signing 1-year contracts. Every year your contract is going to get bigger. You don't have to have one of those percentage increased ones that risks what if the percentage goes down or something. Just keep doing 1-year deals. Keep the pressure on. That's what LeBron did for most of his career. I go for it. That being said, the vibes are completely different now.
They are, yeah.
A couple of people have sent me back the clip of Court saying that we're on top. It's like, man, did she know it?
Yeah. Do you think there's any chance for Fee? Like, you talk to her quite a bit. And so, like, she seems like a very, like, literal person. And so correct me if I'm wrong, but, like, her saying at the beginning of the year, like, I'm just focused on my recovery. Is there any bit of chance where she actually has not thought a single second about next year? Like, for me, like, just like seeing interviews and stuff and how she, like, she's so, like, laser focused on, like, day by day, getting better, healthy, all that stuff. So, like, is there any chance that, like, she has not thought a second about it?
If I had to guess, she probably signed that 1-year deal and then has just been locked the F in of, like, we're winning a championship this year and I'm going to do everything I can to be the best version to win that championship. And I don't think she has really thought about it since she inked the deal. And honestly, like, Fee is an incredibly smart person. She knew she couldn't get out of this situation. So I'm sure, like, again, the Lynx cored her. So Fee can sign a 1-year deal and then walk, which was the nightmare scenario that, people thought she might be doing. But, like, I honestly don't even think she put a ton of thought into, like, what other teams would be fits for her, and because she knew she wouldn't be able to leave. Like, Fee could have demanded a trade and Cheryl could just be like, go kick rocks. Like, what's Fee going to do? Sit out an entire season with double ankle surgery? Like, that's not great for your value. I just think she was in an impossible situation. And to your point, I doubt she's been sitting there like drawing up depth charts of different teams. Like, I think she's a person that's pretty driven at what has her mind on.
Yeah, if you're Alex and Mark, you should try to like make her literal queen of Minneapolis. That should be part of their pitch this offseason. Like, you will be the official queen of Minneapolis, key to the city, if you sign a huge extension or just another 1-year deal.
I just think of it from a basketball fit of if you're Fee, and I went through with a couple of the other beat reporters, and we were trying to figure out how many teams she'd take a visit for. And we settled around 9 teams that, like, realistically, if you're Fee, you probably go and eat the steak dinner, get the private jet ride, drink the champagne, like, enjoy your weekend without Mila. I'm assuming she's doing these on weekends. Like, all of those teams, though, like, if you're Dallas, you would have to trade Alana Smith and you'd have to get rid of Arike. And then if you're Fee, you're looking at this team and it's like Jessica Shepard, Paige, AZ, nothing else, and their salary cap locked. So every other player outside of those 4 is a veteran minimum. Like, how is that the next? You know what I mean? Like, how is that going to get better? You'd have like one season when AZ's still on a rookie deal that they could bring in another big name. But then when AZ's rookie deal is up, you are getting rid of Jess Shepard and you have 3 max players of AZ, Paige, and Fee, and that's it. Like, that's just your team for the foreseeable future. Like, Atlanta's kind of the same way, where they would have to free up money because they don't have big name expiring free agents. Like, the teams that like realistically could make a swing at this are like Indiana. They have Kelsey Mitchell coming off contract, and they technically don't have to pay Caitlin next offseason. It would be insane for them not to pay Caitlin next offseason because everybody pays their rookie a year earlier in the WNBA. They technically don't. So, like, the Fever could make it work. But then when they have to give Caitlin a max contract, it's like you have Boston, Fee, Caitlin. That's it. That's your roster. Everyone else is gone. And it's like, well, that's not a great roster. At least with Minnesota, like, you have Fee for her entire, or you have Liv for her entire rookie contract. Mac and Court both took $500K under the max. Tosh and Coffee are both signed for like super cheap deals. It's even you look at like Dorka is a prime player to get sniped from the Lynx next offseason, right? Like, the Lynx aren't going to have much more than a veteran minimum to sign Dorka with. They will have like some exclusivity with their rights, but someone's going to go say like, here's $800,000 for Dorka. Dorka leaves and it's just like Emma's on this team back from her ACL. Like, let's say this blows up. Everyone is off contract in 2 years because everyone's on a 2 or a 1-year deal. Like, just the roster flexibility, even the basketball fit aside, I just don't know how you look at what the Lynx have and just be like, meh, gonna go over here.
And now that like teams can start like kind of holding on to their rookies a little longer too, it's only going to get better. So I agree with all that. I can't see her anywhere else.
Again, I'll keep warning people, like, she is going to do visits and she should do visits. I would be pretty stunned if she just season ends and she inks a 3-year deal before. Like, free stuff is cool. I would do the visits. The rumor mill is going to be insane because Golden State has been pumping out stuff. Like, Golden State sources have been pumping out stuff all season. Portland people have started to pump out stuff. Like, it is going to be insane and annoying the entire offseason. But if you're just looking at like the best basketball and cap fit, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what could be better.
Yeah. Lynx fans, listen to the 2 groups you should listen to are our wonderful beat reporters and our insiders that we have here, and directly from Fee's mouth. Don't listen to any other person talking about it. That's just, it'll make your life a whole lot easier.
Well, the other thing is like Fee doesn't have Fee doesn't have like 37 people that are involved in her
No.
life that she tells all this stuff to. I would assume the only people that know important things going on in Fee's life are like her husband, and like maybe her mom.
Yeah.
Like there isn't leaks because there's no one to leak it to. It's just, it's wild. King of B asks if Golden State could make a run at Fee. They could. Their team would be really, so basically when you're looking at next year's free agents, and this, we'll close with this because we're going on an hour and I don't want to keep Derek on here for like an hour and 45 minutes. So when you're looking at teams, when you're looking at teams free agency, this next free agency, expiring contracts aren't just like, that money isn't fully expiring, because every contract that leaves, because the WNBA's veteran minimum is so much closer to like their max salary. Like look at Chechi, for example. Chechi will leave and open up $500,000 in cap space. You need to replace her roster spot with a player making the minimum at 300,000. Like you're only freeing up $200,000 by Chechi leaving, because you need to have your rostered team, right? And again, different sports leagues like the NFL, the vet minimum is like 1.8 million and the like max contract is 50 million. It's 50 times the vet minimum. In the WNBA, it's only like 6 times the vet minimum. So like these vet minimum contracts are going to gouge the middle class of the WNBA. I will live and stand on that. But so Valkyries, for example, Tiffany Hayes is off the books. Chechi is off the books. Chechi frees up 200,000. Tiffany frees up 300,000. Kayla Thornton frees up 450,000. So that's $950,000 you free up by those 3 players leaving. Everyone else that's a free agent makes around the veterans minimum. So if they leave, you're bringing in another player that makes within $20,000 of them. So their available free agents don't even free up $1 million. Fee's going to want the $1.6 million max next season. So if Golden State wanted to sign her, is it a sign and trade with the Lynx where you're getting, you know, Charles back, or you're getting a Veronica Burton back just to make the money work? And if you're Fee, if like Veronica Burton has to get traded for them to free up the money to sign you to a max, then it's just like Gabby Williams and Fee. Like, is that's not a great situation. Like she'd be closer to home, but that's the part that admittedly when the Lynx were looking to re-sign all of their players, I overlooked, of like these minimum contracts. If you have 8 of them, that's 8 times 3, that's $2.4 million. That's a third of your salary cap just in minimums. And then you have $5 million to sign the remaining 4 players. If you have 2 people on a max, that's $3 million. And now you're signing 3 players with $2 million. It just, the money aspect of building a super team is almost impossible. So if she ended up going to the Valkyries, again, Kayla Thornton's gone, Tiffany Hayes is gone, Chechi is gone, you know, Chen's probably back making a minimum that she's making now. Like Fengal's probably back, Letitia's probably back. And to make the money work, they would either have to dump Charles for nothing, or they would have to trade Burton in a sign-in trade, which I don't know. If you're the Lynx and you wind up getting Veronica Burton out of this and like a first-round pick to make the deal work, all right. Good luck to Fee with just Gabby Williams and a kind of torn down to the studs Valkyries roster. It's so hard, is my point.
Yeah. And it's not like the Lynx can't make the money work of her contract, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's not like she wants
Fee's
to go
on a
get
max
paid
right now.
somewhere else.
So at the end of the season, Fee's max expires and they just have the max contract slot. So like the brilliance of the Lynx, and this is in hindsight, there's a different reality where this is not going as well for the Lynx, but like everyone on the Lynx roster is basically on a minimum deal except for Nia Coffey, who is making like $100K more than the minimum, Tosh Howard, who is making like 800,000, Court and Liv, who are both on like 2-year near maxes, like they make over $1 million, but they're not at like the max level. and then Fee is on the max. Like, they kind of lucked out that Coffee, Tosh, and Liv are so good, because those are just kind of nothing burger contracts that end up being super valuable because of how they're playing. Again, other teams don't have that. Like, other teams are looking at this of just like, you look at Dallas, for example. They have $2.6 million tied up in Shepherd and Lan. Like, they're not going to be able to get a Fee contract without dumping Lan and probably attaching picks. You're probably losing Arike at that point for nothing and letting her walk. And then you're stripping your roster down to just the 4 starters of AZ, Paige, Jess, and Fee, if she were to go there, and then everyone else is a minimum. And how does that even, like, how does that compete unless you get these diamond in the roughs, which Cheryl seems to get regularly? I just threw a lot of information at Derek, and he's just sitting there like about to vomit.
No, I love it. That kind of stuff is like, it's so cool to like, I'm so like locked in on other stuff. So I'm like, I'm so dumb with the contract things. And so like, I learned so much from like people like you and people who break it down on the NBA side too, is like, all that stuff is fascinating. And the biggest part is like understanding that the money is not going to be the reason that she leaves, because she can get paid the same amount. So it's like, if she's leaving, it's just because for whatever reason. So I don't know. I cannot imagine her even right now today wanting to leave. So
yeah, I'm in the same boat. Let's call it. Derek, where can people listen to your lovely podcast and find your Substack?
So I'm actually going to be starting up. I took a little break. Just had 2 twins early this summer. So, but taking a break from doing the videos and stuff and the podcast, but I'm going to bring it back starting here in September. That's at SideLine Vibes. If I'm on YouTube, Spotify, on Twitter and Blue Sky, and I now have an Instagram, I guess. Not Threads yet. This anyways, that's at Crunch. Maybe I gotta start a Threads. That's the new thing. And then I started a Substack. It's just kind of writing a little bit. I did a couple things for Hitting the Hardwood. I just write little from like coaching perspective. I try to like kind of like listen closely to Cheryl and see what kind of she's trying to do. And she's a fun coach to analyze. And so I kind of break it down from like a coaching perspective, X's and O's. I try to do like quarterly reports there. My Substack there is at Derek Long, aka Crunch. So yeah, if you want to see some novice writing, some very don't judge my grammar. I'm a 5th grade science and social studies teacher at the end of the day, which that's not in my repertoire.
You're not having them write research papers.
No. And I don't remember last time I wrote one. So I guess this is like dusting off the old keyboard, I guess. So
I mean, hey, everyone can write. You just have to want to do it. For anyone that joined into this late, it will be going up on YouTube and X as soon as I end stream. Will come out as a podcast at 7 a.m. tomorrow. That would be Monday. The Aces post-game recap did get posted again a little late today. StreamYard's just been having some weird downloading issues that have been annoying, but it is up living on the Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you get your podcast. This one should come out tomorrow at 7 a.m. for the drive time. We will be back Wednesday, the next game Wednesday. We'll be back Wednesday doing another post-game live. Sloan Martin is jumping on the podcast this week. It's either going to be on Tuesday or Friday, so keep an eye out for that. I'll try and post those earlier than just like 4 hours before we go live, because I've heard people actually want to join into those. And I know some of those bonus episodes I do in the middle of the day, so it's a little bit harder. So as soon as I find out when we're doing it, I will be adding that over to the old social media feed. But thanks everyone for listening. We'll catch you Wednesday.